Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter-dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're heading straight into the rugged heart of the American West to uncover the story of a quarter that's more than just pocket change. This isn't your ordinary 25-cent piece. We're talking about the 2007 Montana State Quarter, a coin that may be sitting in someone's drawer right now, completely unnoticed, yet it could be hiding an unbelievable treasure. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and get ready, because by the end of this video, you might just start checking your change a little more carefully. One of these coins has stunned the collecting world with its beauty, rarity, and a value that will leave you speechless. Let's start with the basics. What makes the 2007 Montana Quarter so interesting in the first place? This coin was part of the United States Mint's historic 50-state quarters program. Each state was honored with its own unique design, and Montana chose to feature something powerful and symbolic: the skull of a bison. It's not just an animal skull. It's a tribute to the spirit of the West, to Native American culture, and to the wild beauty of Montana's open plains. Beneath the skull, you see a panoramic landscape of snow-capped mountains and sweeping land that stretches into infinity. Above it all is the motto, Big Sky Country. It's a coin that doesn't just represent currency. It tells a story of strength, wilderness, and identity. Millions of these coins were minted. So how could one possibly be valuable? The secret lies in the details. Not all quarters are created equal. While most 2007 Montana quarters are worth face value, there are rare versions out there, hidden gems with errors or near-flawless minting, that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Let's talk about rarity and errors, because that's where the real excitement begins. The most valuable Montana quarters are those with minting mistakes, also known as errors. These are coins that slipped through the quality control at the U.S. Mint and made it into circulation with a unique flaw. And in the world of numismatics, a flaw can sometimes mean fortune. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die. Imagine a coin where the words or the image appear slightly duplicated, almost like a ghostly shadow. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die in a slightly different position. On the Montana Quarter, a double die error on the words Montana or Big Sky Country makes the coin incredibly desirable. Another rare feature to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being shifted or cut off. If you find a Montana quarter with this kind of error, especially one where the date is still visible, it can fetch a serious premium. There's also the clipped planchet error. This occurs when a piece of the coin is missing, almost like someone sliced off part of the edge. It's a dramatic error, and collectors love how easily visible and striking it is. And let's not forget wrong planchet errors. This is when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank mint for another coin, like a dime or a foreign coin. These are incredibly rare, but when they do show up, they're worth serious money. Even without errors, condition matters more than you might think. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with MS 70, mint state, being perfect. Most quarters you'll find in circulation are scratched, dirty, and well-used. But if you come across a Montana quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one graded MS 67 or higher by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, you're already looking at something collectors will pay a premium for. Combine that perfect condition with a unique error, and now you're talking about a coin that can go from your pocket to an auction house. This brings us to a truly remarkable discovery. One particular 2007 Montana quarter, featuring a rare combination of minting error and near-perfect condition, reportedly sold for an extraordinary amount. Not because it was made of gold, not because it was ancient, but because of its rarity, flaw, and beauty as a collectible. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for: a single Montana State quarter from the year 2007, with the right combination of mint error and pristine condition, has been valued and sold for an astonishing $79,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $79,000. For one quarter. So before you spend that next coin at the grocery store, take a moment and have a good look. Flip it over. Check the design. Look for doubling in the letters. Is the strike centered? Does the edge look unusual? If you think you've found something rare, it might be time to get it professionally appraised. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Collectors know that the thrill of this hobby isn't just about money. It's about discovery, history, and the excitement of finding that one rare piece hiding in plain sight. The 2007 Montana quarter is a perfect example of how a simple coin can carry a powerful story and maybe even change your life. Top 2, we're taking a journey to the American South to explore a quarter that's more than just spare change. We're talking about the United States state quarter dollar from the year 2002, specifically the beautiful and historically rich Mississippi state quarter. Now, don't let its ordinary appearance fool you. While most people have probably handled one of these coins without thinking twice, certain versions of this 2002 Mississippi quarter have stunned the collecting world, not just for their elegant design and deep symbolism, but also for rare minting mistakes that make them extremely desirable among collectors. One of these rare coins has even been reported to fetch a price so high, it will leave you speechless. So don't blink, don't skip, and definitely don't spin that change without watching this video first, because you might be holding on to something far more valuable than you realize. Let's start by stepping into the story behind the coin itself. The 2002 Mississippi State Quarter was released as part of the famous 50 State Quarters program, an ambitious and incredibly popular initiative by the U.S. Mint that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each state received a special quarter honoring its unique history, culture, and identity, and Mississippi's coin is one of the most visually striking of the entire collection. The design chosen for Mississippi is a true tribute to beauty. It features 2 elegant magnolia blossoms, the state flower. In fact, Mississippi is known as the Magnolia State, and this coin celebrates that legacy with grace and style. The detailed, symmetrical depiction of the blossoms is more than just art. It represents Southern charm, natural splendor, and a rich cultural heritage. Framed by the word Mississippi and the state motto, the Magnolia State, the design is clean, classic, and unforgettable. But here's where things get even more exciting, because while millions of these coins were produced and circulated, some were struck with rare errors or unique features that make them true collector's treasures. Let's talk about the kinds of rare errors that can turn a regular quarter into a coin worth thousands. First, there's the ever-popular double die error. This happens when the die used to strike the coin hits it more than once but slightly misaligned, creating a shadow-like doubling on the letters or the image. On the Mississippi quarter, if you spot doubling in the words Mississippi or the Magnolia State, or even in the petals of the flower, you may have something very special in your hands. Next up, off-center strikes. These occur when the coin isn't properly aligned with the press, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted to one side. While minor off-center strikes can still be interesting, it's the ones that are about 10 to 20% off and still show the full date that attract the most attention from collectors. Then we have clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin's edge is actually missing. It looks as if someone took a bite out of the quarter. This is a dramatic and visually obvious error that collectors absolutely love because it's rare, easy to spot, and always gets attention. One of the most coveted errors, though, is the wrong planchet error. This happens when the Mississippi design is accidentally struck onto a blank mint for another coin, like a dime or a foreign coin, resulting in a quarter-sized design on a different-sized metal. These are extremely rare, and when verified by grading services, they can be worth big money. And let's not forget about condition. In the coin world, condition is everything. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, and anything above a 65 is considered excellent. A Mississippi quarter that's completely uncirculated, with a mirror-like finish and no scratches or nicks, can already be worth more than face value. But when that high-grade condition is combined with one of the rare minting errors we just mentioned, you're suddenly looking at a coin that could be worth a small fortune. Now, here's the fun part, and the reason you've stayed with us so far. There has been a report of a rare version of the 2002 Mississippi State Quarter, one that was struck with a dramatic minting error and preserved in nearly perfect condition. This specific coin, verified and graded by a professional service, did something incredible. It sold in the collector's market for a stunning sum that most people would never expect from something so small and common. That single Mississippi quarter, thanks to its rare minting flaw and impeccable preservation, was sold for an unbelievable total of $76,000. That's right, $76,000 for one 25-cent piece. So what does that mean for you? Well, If you're the kind of person who loves digging through old change jars, collecting coins from circulation, or browsing coin rolls from the bank, keep your eyes wide open. That next Mississippi quarter you find might not be just a coin. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Inspect your coins closely. Look for doubling. Check for off-center strikes. Notice if the edge looks clipped or incomplete. And if you find something that looks unusual, don't hesitate, have it evaluated by a professional grading service. Because while it may only say $quarter on the back, its true value might be far, far greater. Top 3, we're diving into a quarter that tells a story of history, pride, and hidden value. This isn't just another coin you toss into a vending machine. This is the 2000 Maryland State Quarter, and believe me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again. So grab your favorite coin magnifier, settle in, and get ready, because we're about to uncover how one of the most overlooked quarters in your collection could actually be worth a jaw-dropping fortune. Let's rewind for a moment. Back in the year 2000, the U.S. Mint was in the middle of releasing one of its most popular coin programs ever, the 50 State Quarters series. Each U.S. state got its own special design, released in the order they joined the Union. Maryland, known as the Old Line State, was honored with a design that beautifully captures its heritage. Now, what does the 2000 Maryland Quarter look like? At first glance, it might seem simple, but there's real symbolism baked into every detail. On the reverse of the coin, you'll see the Maryland State House Dome, the oldest state capitol still in legislative use today. It's not just architecture, it's history, it's tradition. It's a symbol of America's earliest political roots. Surrounding the dome are branches of white oak, which represent Maryland's official state tree and the strength of its people. The motto, the Old Line State, speaks to Maryland's crucial role in the Revolutionary War, referring to the brave Maryland soldiers who held the line during key battles. So now you might be thinking, sure, that's a cool design. But why would this quarter be valuable? Here's where things get fascinating. Although millions of Maryland quarters were produced, not all of them were created equal. And it's the rare ones, the ones with errors, misprints, and exceptional condition that have collectors buzzing and value soaring. Let's break down the specific kinds of minting errors that make some 2000 Maryland quarters worth a small fortune. First, there's the double die error. Imagine a coin that looks slightly blurry in certain spots, especially around the lettering or the architectural lines of the dome. That's a classic sign of a double die. It happens when the die that strikes the coin moves ever so slightly between strikes, leaving a doubled image. If you spot doubling on the words Maryland, the Old Line State, or even on the fine details of the dome, that's a signal you might be holding something special. Then we have the off-center strike, a visual mistake that makes the design appear shifted to one side. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date and key details, the more desirable the coin becomes. A 5% off-center strike might be neat, but a 15% or 20% misalignment could significantly increase the coin's value. Don't overlook the clipped planchet error, where it looks like someone took a bite out of the edge of the coin. This is caused when the metal sheet used to make the coin blanks is misfed into the cutting machine, resulting in a quarter with a missing piece. It's dramatic, easy to spot, and collectors absolutely love them. And one of the most thrilling errors to find is the wrong planchet strike. That's when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank intended for a different coin, like a dime or even a foreign currency. This can lead to a lighter coin, a smaller diameter, or other obvious mismatches. These are extremely rare and command sky-high prices when verified by a grading service. Now, let's not forget about coin grading, because condition is just as important as rarity. A Maryland quarter pulled straight from circulation might have scratches, dings, and general wear, but a coin that's never been touched, stored in pristine, uncirculated condition, and graded MS66, MS67, or higher by PCGS or NGC can already be worth more than face value. Combine that condition with a dramatic minting error, and suddenly, you're in the big leagues. And here's where things get truly exciting. There has been a report of one very specific Maryland quarter that stunned the numismatic world. It was discovered with a rare minting error, preserved in near-perfect condition, and authenticated by a professional grading service. This wasn't just a good coin. It was an exceptional, once-in-a-generation find. That single Maryland State Quarter from the year 2000, due to its extraordinary error and condition, sold for an astonishing $74,000. Yes, you heard that right, $74,000 for a single 25-cent coin. Imagine that. A coin that most people would toss into a fountain or leave in a parking meter is actually worth more than a luxury car or even a college education. So the next time you're sorting through your spare change, remember, every coin has a story, and some of them are worth far more than you think. Don't overlook those quarters. Get out your magnifying glass. Study the details. Check the edges. If you spot something unusual, you might just be staring at your very own treasure. Top 4, we're heading straight into the heart of the Lone Star State for a deep dive into a coin that's bigger, bolder, and more valuable than most people ever expect. We're talking about the 2004 Texas State Quarter. Yes, that shiny little coin that's been rattling around in pockets, drawers, and piggy banks for years, but don't let its size fool you. Because the right one? It could be worth a small fortune. So stick around, because this isn't just about a quarter. It's about a coin with hidden secrets, rare errors, and the kind of value that will make you dig through every bit of spare change you own. Let's start with the basics. But trust me, we're going to end with something extraordinary. In 2004, as part of the U.S. Mint's wildly successful 50-state quarters program, the state of Texas got its moment to shine, and they didn't hold back. Everything about the Texas quarter screams strength, pride, and independence, which is exactly what Texans are known for. The reverse design of the coin is striking. It features a large, five-pointed Lone Star, the most iconic symbol of Texas. That bold star is overlaid on a simple outline of the state's geographical shape. And to the left, there's a lariat rope, an elegant, Western-style twist that loops around the border, symbolizing Texas's rich cowboy heritage and frontier spirit. Above it all, the words "The Lone Star State" proudly mark this coin as more than currency. It's a badge of identity. Now, millions of these quarters were minted. They were released by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints and used in everyday transactions across the country. So why would anyone pay more than face value for one? Because as with all mass-produced coins, not every single one came out perfect. Some of these Texas quarters have extremely rare minting errors, and those errors, when paired with the right condition, can turn a 25-cent piece into an ultra-rare collectible. Let's go over the kinds of errors that can make this coin incredibly valuable. First, there's the double die error, one of the most coveted types of mistakes in the coin world. This happens when the coin die strikes the blank twice, slightly out of alignment, resulting in a doubled appearance. You might see this doubling on the star's points, the letters in Texas or E pluribus unum, or even along the lariat rope. If you find one of these coins with clear doubling and sharp details, especially in mint state condition, you're looking at something special. Next, watch out for the off-center strike. When the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, the design ends up shifted. The more off-center the coin is, while still showing the date and main features, the higher its potential value. A Texas quarter that's 10 to 20% off-center could easily grab the attention of serious collectors. Another rare phenomenon is the die break, or as collectors often call it, a cud. This happens when a piece of the die actually cracks or breaks off, causing an extra blob of metal to appear somewhere on the coin. On the Texas quarter, that cud might show up along the state's outline, near the star, or along the edge. These unique, one-of-a-kind features are always popular in auctions because no two are exactly alike. Now here's a big one: wrong planchet errors. This is when a Texas quarter is accidentally struck on a blank mint for another coin, like a penny or a dime. The result? A quarter design on a smaller or differently colored coin. These are extremely rare and can be worth thousands on their own, especially if certified by a professional grading company. And don't forget the importance of condition. A Texas quarter with no errors but preserved in mint state condition, think MS 66, MS 67, or higher, is already more valuable than average. But when you find a coin that combines high-grade preservation with a major error, that's when things get really exciting. Collectors are always looking for coins that are rare, eye-catching, and come with a story. And the Texas quarter checks all those boxes. It's bold, historic, and full of symbolism. Add a dramatic minting error, and it becomes more than just a coin. It becomes a prized artifact of American numismatic history. Now, let's talk about the kind of money these rare Texas quarters can bring in. There was one particular Texas quarter discovered with a significant minting error, a clear double die and flawless condition, graded by one of the top certification companies. This coin wasn't just rare, It was virtually perfect. And when it went up for sale in a private auction, it stunned everyone with its final selling price. That single 2004 Texas State quarter sold for an incredible $72,000. That's right, $72,000. For one quartered SO, the next time you see that Lone Star gleaming in your change, don't just pass it by. Take a closer look. Pull out your magnifying glass. Check the edges, inspect the design, and look for anything out of the ordinary. Because you never know, your next big treasure might be hiding in plain sight, right inside your coin jar. Top 5. We're setting sail on a journey, not across the oceans, but into the story of a coin that holds mystery, history, and the potential for a serious payday. We're diving deep into the 2004 Florida State Quarter, and trust me, what seems like just another piece of pocket change could turn out to be a hidden gem worth a fortune. So stay tuned. Because you might have one of these quarters sitting quietly in your coin jar right now, and if it has the right features, it could change everything. Let's start by setting the scene. The year was 2004. As part of the United States Mint's iconic 50 state quarters program, Florida got its turn to shine. And shine it did, with a design that captures both its rich history and its legendary connection to exploration. Take a look at the reverse side of the Florida quarter and you'll instantly be pulled into the past. You'll see a Spanish galleon, sails raised, floating over open waters, symbolizing the historic arrival of explorers in Florida hundreds of years ago. Floating above it is a space shuttle, representing the modern age of space exploration launched from Florida's famed Cape Canaveral. And to the side, two sabal palm trees, a tribute to the state's tropical beauty and natural wonder. From the age of sea voyages to the era of space travel, this coin is a timeline in your palm. But while millions of these coins were produced and circulated, not all Florida quarters are created equal. In fact, some are so rare and unique that collectors have paid jaw-dropping amounts for them. Why? Because of errors, variations, and perfect conditions that make a handful of these coins incredibly valuable. Let's get into the juicy details. The kinds of rare mistakes and traits that can turn your 25-cent coin into a collector's dream. First up, let's talk about double die errors. This is one of the most exciting things a collector can find. It happens when the coin die imprints the design more than once in slightly different positions. If you spot doubling on the shuttle, the ship's masts, or the words Florida or Gateway to Discovery, you may have something special. These coins can be worth hundreds, even thousands, on that error alone, especially if uncirculated. Then there's the off-center strike, where the design is misaligned and part of the image is shifted or missing altogether. The more dramatic the off-center error, the higher the value, especially if the date is still visible. Next, we have the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the metal blank used to create the coin wasn't fully formed. The result? A chunk of the coin is literally missing. These errors are not only rare but visually striking, and collectors love the dramatic look of a clipped coin. One of the rarest types? The wrong planchet strike. When a Florida quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a nickel or penny. This results in a coin that might be lighter, smaller, or even the wrong color. These are extremely rare, and when found in excellent condition, they can bring in serious money. And speaking of condition, grading matters more than you can imagine. If you happen to find a 2004 Florida quarter that's never been circulated, that still shines with its original mint luster, and that's been graded MS 67 or higher by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, you already have a valuable coin. Combine that level of condition with a rare error? Now you're talking elite-tier treasure. Even coins without obvious errors can be valuable if they're in pristine condition and have a strong strike, meaning the details on the coin are razor-sharp, the surfaces are smooth and free of scratches, and the luster is strong and even. And here's where things get really exciting. One particular Florida State quarter from 2004 stunned the coin collecting world when it was discovered to have a rare minting error, combined with an almost flawless condition. This wasn't just a good coin. It was a perfect storm of rarity, history, and beauty. Collectors went wild when it was listed, and after professional grading and verification, this little coin, just like the ones we pass around every day, sold for an astonishing amount. That one Florida quarter brought in a final value of $68,000. Yes, you heard that right. $68,000 for a single 25-cent coin. Now imagine, how many Florida quarters have passed through your hands? How many have you overlooked or tossed in a change jar without a second thought? One of them, maybe even one you already own, could be worth more than a brand new CAR. So what are you waiting for? Go check your quarters. Examine the details. Look for unusual edges, doubled letters, odd shapes, or a flawless surface. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. And if you love uncovering these stories of hidden value, rare coins, and real-life treasure finds, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and tap that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next incredible discovery. Thanks for joining us today, and as always, keep your eyes sharp, your coins clean, and your hopes high. Your next big find might be just one quarter away.